pag-uusapan natin yung bagong ruling ng Miss Universe on the eligibility rules that they just recently, or rather was recently to everybody on social media. But before we go right into that, there are a couple of issues na gusto ko muna sanang talakayin bago tayo mag-proceed doon sa Miss Universe na issue. I think itong issue na to has something to do with mental health and the Miss Supranational and Mr. Supranational na pageants. So for everyone who is tuning in, I want you to sit back and relax muna. Take coffee or tea or whatever your evening drinks is, and hintayin natin na dumami muna tayo lahat dito sa pa-live natin before we jump right into the Miss Universe na issue. But for now, I think ang gusto kong pag-usapan is yung recently nag-post yung creative director ng Mr. and Miss Supranational na he is resigning from the organization. Now, Andreas Leigh has been in the supranational pageant for several years now, and he's been, one of the key public figures ng pageant, aside from the owner, which is Gerard von Lipinski. Right now, hindi natin alam kung ano yung kalagayan niya with the organization itself, except for his pronouncements na he is okay with the org, na he is, resigning from his post as a creative director. But there is negotiations now to keep him still on board and be part of the organization in some other aspect. Now, we don't know if gaano ka in-depth yung negotiations niya doon, but I think what really got us going is the fact na napaka-public nung kanyang announcement, that it invites a lot of, kuro-kuro and suspecha kung ano ba talaga yung nangyari. And he's very outspoken on social media na hindi rin naging maganda para sa kanya or sa kanyang image. And I think, that's something na kinakailangan siguro for someone na nasa pageant industry, kinakailangan medyo mas matibay ang sikmura mo, mas matibay-tibay yung control mo, and yung generally how do you say it? Mas asero yung sikmura mo sa mga nangyayari around you, because hindi naman kaila sa lahat that a year ago nagkaroon ng backlash on him tungkol dun sa sinabi niya na I effing hate yung mga kasambahay, or rather mga kapitbahay natin sa baba. So I think isa yun sa mga nag-trigger ng yung kanyang siguro anxiety doon sa social media na hanggang ngayon parang hindi pa na-resolve. So if he's leaving sa organization, sana naman medyo naging mas grasyoso sana yung exit niya, para hindi naging ganito yung issue, or hindi naging ganito yung yung kinalalabasan na namukha siyang, alam mo yun, nagmukha siyang ampalaya sa pag-alis niya sa org or sa pagre-resign niya, because yun na nga, hindi niya makayanan yung mga tao na medyo hindi kagandahan ang ipinapakitang asal sa kanya on social media. I think that may lesson dito about mental health and about being social media savvy, na sana una sa lahat nag-deactivate siya sa mga panahon na medyo mainit-init yung kanyang yung issue, or mainit yung sa kanya, yung pakiramdam ng mga tao sa kanya. Pangalawa, sana ginamit niya yung mga controls on Instagram, on Facebook, na medyo ilan lang yung makakakita sa post niya, ilan lang yung makapag-comment sa kanyang social media, para hindi siya inundated palati ng mga hate comments. And siguro pangatlo, sana naisip niya yung position niya warrants, someone to have more finesse on social media. So, yun lang. And then the next thing that I wanted to discuss bago tayo mag-attendance sa lahat, kasi medyo dumadami na tayo, is yung issue ng mga ibang Latin pages kay Miss Supranational Lalelam Suane. Kasi if hindi nyo napansin, nag-deactivate si Lalela ng mga pwedeng mag-tag sa kanya on social media or makapag-comment dun sa kanyang mga social media accounts. Now, I think this is a double-edged sword na move because pwedeng maka-apekto sa kanya or sa popularidad niya bilang winner yung ginawa niya, and at the same time, I understand as well na kinakailangan din niya na na alagaan yung mental health niya, kasi kung hindi ganoon kasing tibay tulad ni Andre yung kanyang mental fortitude na sumabak sa mga haters, sa mga hate comments, talagang maapektuhan siya on the comments alone of on her social media. So, yun. Let's now muna discussing mga dumating ngayon sa ating pa-live. Sabi ni Sam Valero, hello! Welcome to my channel, Sam. I hope enjoy mo ngayon yung pa-live natin today. Medyo ka-shocking, no, yung announcement ng Miss Universe, kasi parang it came out of nowhere, or it came out of, out of the blue, na bigla na lang may nag-post about it. Rodvin Fiel, hello sir. Hello Sir Rodvin. Pa-attendance po, sabi niya. Hello there. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Ayan, since medyo marami-rami na rin tayo, kindly like naman yung ating pa-live para mas marami ang makakita sa atin sa ating channel. Ayun. Sir, off topic. Ito, galing to kay Rodvin, Sir, off topic, pero napanood mo po ba yung NPE kanina? Any comments po? For me, nakakasad at nakakagalit for the candidates. Di nila deserve yung ganong pageant experience. Actually, Rodvin, I totally forgot that today is the finals of NPE. And the thing about the finals, hindi ko talaga siya inabangan. Or I'd rather say na it really, kumbaga nakalimutan ko siya na nangyayari siya ngayon. I was thinking na bukas yung telecast, not thinking na delayed yung telecast, yung actual is actually nangyayari today. So I have no idea kung ano yung nangyari doon sa pageant nila, but ever since na nalaman ko na sa Coron mangyayari yung pageant, I was thinking na, oh my God, ang pinaka likely na scenario dito sa isang resort nila gagawin yung finals, because there's no there's no venue there na makakapag-accommodate makakapag-accommodate ng LED stage, ng very magarbo na stage. So I am keeping my expectations very low for the pageant, simply because I don't think the venue, or the location rather, would be able to make something of that grand or grandiose in terms of staging. So I am hoping na sana hindi ganun ka singlala as I am imagining based on your comment, Rodvin. Pero parang doon na nga tayo patutungo. Parang right now, nafe-feel ko based on yung vibes na vibean ko sa comment mo, is parang, shit, heto na noon ang Miss Philippines Earth, paano kita pagtatanggol? Parang hindi mo naman ako binibigyan ng kahit na anong klaseng gloss, ng kahit na anong klaseng dahilan para mahalin ka. Parang ang hirap-hirap mong mahalin, ang hirap mong ipagtanggol. So I honestly, now with what you've commented, parang feeling ko disappointed ka. And feeling ko parang ganun din ang mangyayari sa akin. N is here. Thoughts sa mga questions sa Binibining Pilipinas this year. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, after writing like 5 continuous days of reviews ng Binibini, parang I'm at a point na parang saturated na ako masyado sa Binibini. Na parang bigyan nyo naman ako ng konting pahinga sa Binibini. Parang I wanted maybe one day or 2 days na na parang ayoko munang itakal ang Binibini. But of course, your question is very valid. Your comments is very valid. Kasi nga, totoo, may Binibini hangover pa. Tapos biglang nag-MPE. I'm thinking na parang I want a day na or a weekend na hindi ako masyado active sa pageant. That's why for the past couple of days nagma-marathon ako sa Netflix. I actually finished watching today yung The Sandman na series. Hindi ako sa nagpa-plug ako, pero ang maganda siya. It kind of provided for me a distraction from pageantry for a while. Parang I think kailangan natin lahat na huminga muna away from kasi babad tayo sa Binibini for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So tingin ko parang we need to decongest. Decongest for maybe a day or 2 or maybe 3 days. Who knows? Na hindi mo na magpakabibo about Binibini because there's something we have something planned later for this week with regards to Binibini and yun, and surprise muna yon. Okay, pagbibigyan kita sa tanong mo kasi valid naman kasi yung tanong mo eh. You're asking me about my thoughts sa mga questions ng Binibining Pilipinas this year. I think that this year yung mga questions at the same level or is slightly higher yung level of difficulty niya compared to last year. I think lahat ng mga girls kinakailangan medyo level up because of the questions this year. Tapos pag-usapan natin mamaya yung leaked na video doon sa score sheet ni Joshua. Oh my God, I forgot his last name. Joshua Garcia. Pasensya na, hindi ako masyado showbiz hindi ko masyado kilala yung mga showbiz personalities natin dito sa Pilipinas. I'm still, I'm not as involved sa mga shows natin dito sa Pilipinas dahil sa Netflix. Ayun. Anyway, let's go back to dun sa the questions ng Binibini. I think, totoo, medyo mas mahirap siya. Slightly mas mahirap siya than last year. And I think that this year, wala namang sumemplang ng bonggang-bongga sa mga questions, mga Q&A. Merong mga girls na hindi nakasagot ng diretso about their questions, na kumbaga hindi nila na-nail on the head yung mga questions nila, maybe because they're pressed with time or hindi nila narinig yung questions ng mabuti or maigi. So maybe that's it. But one of the things na I think was very helpful for the girls na video yung kanilang mga questions from personalities not present in the finals is that they were able to read the question. And I think that's a big difference in terms of how are you able to to answer back kasi kumbaga nabasa nila yung question, klaro yung question sa utak nila, they are able to process it while nagsasalita yung nagtatanong. So they are able to give really very on the point na mga answers. I think that's the takeaway from that. Ito naging advantage for perhaps Gabby, but not so much naman for Yana. So I think there is, I'm still weighing kung is it a disadvantage or is it an advantage simply because may kumorona, merong hindi. but both girls were able to answer, really very powerful na mga sagot with their questions. But definitely, from my perspective, if ako tinanong using that format na may tawag ito, may transcription nung question, mas madali ako makakasagot. That is simply because I am a visual learner. Mas madali kong iintindihan ng bagay kapag nakikita ko rather than sinasabi, ini-explain lang sa akin. So, yun. Habang ng sinabi ko, ang liit lang naman ng tanong. May BBP, nabanggit ko na ito. Rodvin Fiel says, super lala, sir, na I'm thinking you're pertaining to MPE. So, my God, Rodvin, natatakot tuloy ako na panoorin siya. To be honest, I'm kinda, parang, alam mo yun, parang just, siguro maybe for the sake of MPE, parang wag ko na lang siyang panoorin kasi kung madidisappoint lang ako at wala akong masabing maganda. Mas maganda lang siguro na manahimik na lang ako, no? Kesa yung But I don't know. Later on, baka in Instagram may mga magpaskil, may mga clips na lumabas and whatnot. So I'm embracing myself na baka maging critical din ako sa kinalabasan ng NPE finals. However, I am very happy na si Jenny Ramp yung nanalo kasi among the candidates yung nakikitaan ko actually ng international na appeal, ng international na kumbaga siya yung sa tingin ko internationally may laban. So if mag-crossover siya sa Binibini later on or sa Miss World Philippines later on, I don't see anything na makakapag-derail sa kanya from the experiencing of other national pageants kasi I think sure lusot na siya as an official candidate in any national pageants na lalaktawin niya. I don't know for sure kung ano yung experience niya with NPE, but from the looks of it naman, I think deserve niya yung pagkapanalo niya. I'm not just sure again with the production and all kasi ayoko munang silipin, ayoko munang bigyan siya ng space sa utak ko dahil ayoko naman na parati na lang pintas ang masasabi ko sa NPE. So, yun lang din yun. I really want to find something na I can speak about NPE in a very positive manner. Kasi yun yung nakukulangan ako lately with NPE na parang wala tayong masasabing maganda about it. And it's sad kasi sariling atin to. Yun lang. Okay. Mikel Britos, tinatanong niya bakit ganon sa NPE. Hindi ko alam, Mikel, kasi hindi ko pa siya napapanood. Honestly, really, I am saying this with all honesty na I really forgot about NPE having its finals today. So maybe tomorrow I might be able to really go through yung finals nila, but I am hoping that I can really find something to speak positively about on. Rodin Fiel is saying, I was a fan of NPE kasi sir, science major ako kaya gets ko ang advocacy and yung need na dapat may technical background sila sa environmental issues. Kaso sir, super nakaka-disappoint na this time. Okay, M is saying, ang galing ng mga gumawa ng questions, talagang ilo-look forward mo ang Q&A sa Binibining Pilipinas. Alam mo, M, I am not sure actually kung sino yung gumagawa ng questions. But ang kutob lang it's not actually the judges na nagfo-formulate ng mga questions. There is a nagging thought at the back of my head saying na these questions might have been formulated by the organization itself or some people in the production. So, I'm not sure really talaga. Kasi, parang parang suspect masyado kung the way that the questions are worded are also parang iisa lang yung tone of voice ng mga questions ng Binibini this year. So I'm amazed kung sino yung nagsulat there. Clarinda May Cortez, Barbihan ang Team Philippines 2022, agree. Si Hana, si Celeste, si Gwen and si Jenny. I think they're all are at the pretty spectrum of things. They're not exotic na medyo mapapabalikwas ka kung yung ganda nila is maibebenta mo. But all of these girls that are crowned sa major 4 international pageants are, ayun, nag-reconnect na. Ayan. Sorry about that. Tingin ko nagkaroon ng issue lang sa internet connection natin. So, pagpasensyahan nyo na, nasa Pilipinas tayo, ganyan talaga. What was I saying about the Team Philippines again na we left off? It's about, very very commercial yung mga beauties na nanalo this year dun sa 4 na major international na pageants. I think, very, very well deserved yung accolades na binibigay sa kanila because they really are, the best that we can offer. Ayan. Where are we sa mga Rosco Paeste. Hello, Jason. What are your thoughts on the recently concluded Miss Philippines Coronation Day? Rosco, hi. Hello, Jan sa Guam. I think it's early morning sa Guam or late afternoon. I'm not sure. But about that, again, as I said earlier, hindi ko siya napanood ang NPE. It really totally slipped my mind. I was doing a marathon watch on Netflix for the series na Sandman. The Sandman. The Sandman is a DC na comic book that was released in the 90s, mid to late 90s, if I'm not mistaken. I was a fan of comic book back then na nabasa ko itong kwento ni Sandman before, but I'm shady on the details of the entire comic book. So nung nalaman ko that they are actually going to do a series on it, inabangan ko talaga. Kaya yung August 5 na release date nila, which is dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, is actually August 6. Talagang minarathon ko siya simula last night until natapos ko siya today. And kasama ko ang dad ko na nag-marathon. That is why I really forgot about NPE. It really did not cross my mind up until nung may naipaskill na ang NPE na winners dun sa kanilang Instagram that I just reposted yung announcement nila. And I just said, congratulations to the winner. And that's it. Yun lang yung nalalaman ko about MPE. So I haven't watched the finals, and I have very little expectations about it. Simply because alam ko sa Coron, wala talaga tayong infrastructure there to host like this kind of a huge na event. Okay, Mikel Brito says, wag mo nang panoorin. Oh, napakabigat. Yung mix ng judges ng DDT this year at last year, parang same. May artista, beauty queen, journalist, government official. Okay, I think it's safe naman siguro to say, nabanggitin. But as far as I remember, nabanggit sa akin before that SMA actually don't like the all-female judging panel. Na gusto niya, kinakailangan well-represented yung male-female na demographic that they come from different careers, industries. Kaya hindi ako nagtaka na ganun din yung ganun ka-diverse yung judging panel ng Binibining this year. Rodwin Fiel says, deserve ni Jenny Ramp na manalo naman. Yun lang, redeeming factor. Yun lang ang redeeming factor ng NPE this year. Okay. Again, siguro, sobrang disappointed nyo sa pa-live nila or sa finals nila for you to have the same thoughts na ganyan. Kent Mangoba is saying, hello Sir Jason. Hello Kent. For this year, I have to admit that MUPH ang pinakaganda overall. However, BBB Q&A is top notch. This is what MUPH failed to give last April. Questions about social issues. I think when it comes to the technical na aspect, yes, mas maganda nga yung production ng MUPH. Although, from my experience sa loob ng Araneta, ang glossy niya tignan sa sa live na dun sa live venue. It just didn't translate with the equipment ng kung sino man ang production team this year, so which is like compared to last year, parang mas HD yung mga camera setup ng production team nila last year. I've been told na bago daw yung ginamit na production team ng Binibining Pilipinas this year, and that it's not the same team as before, as last year. So and I have also contradicting thoughts na nabanggit nabanggit ng mga tagaloob na it might na it's the same. So I'm sure kung ano ang totoong kwento, and I'm still figuring it out kung what really happened on the production team side. Kasi from what I know, I don't think na hindi production teams natin sa Pilipinas may HD na capability sa kanilang mga equipments. Kasi that is a whole new different, investment on equipment, on technical gadgets in order for the live or for the recording to come off as HD sa live. So medyo ayoko mag-comment on that aspect kasi technical yan, and I'm not a technical production person to discuss that. But kapag meron akong nalaman information na legit, then I will be glad to share it with you later on. But yes, I agree. Sabaw ang question and answer sa MUPH, unlike sa Binibining Pilipinas. Compared mo yung mga parang get to know you questions lang, actually yung mga questions sa MUPH na parang hanggang ganun na lang yun. Well, you're not gonna talk about social issues kasi sa Miss Universe pagdating ng top 5, pag-uusapan ninyo is legalization of marijuana. You're gonna talk about privacy versus security, like the question ni Fasay. You're going to be talking about a whole lot of social issues, war, poverty, social inequality, all of the stuff, and yet you're not doing that on your pageant. Ibig mo bang sabihin na yung mga girls na sasala sa Miss Intercontinental, sa Miss Globe, mas kaya pang harapin yung mga mabibigat na questions ng Binibini than yung isasabak natin sa Miss Universe? I think yun yung on my end, yun yung part na missed opportunity ng MUPH, na you could have used your pageant as a training ground for girls to be able to speak about social issues, kasi nagbabago ang timpla ng Miss Universe pageant. And itong latest nilang pronouncement about allowing married women and unwed mothers to join the pageant and compete in the pageant is something of a game changer. So I think we really need to for Celeste at least sa tingin ko, kailangan niyang mag-brush up on these social issues, kasi we cannot allow ourselves na hindi tayo sasabak sa Miss Universe without having a very thorough understanding of the different social issues na pwedeng itanong sa Miss Universe stage later on. And I think, and I am hoping na yung team niya, yung core team niya, yung camp na kung nasaan siya, would prepare her on this. Kasi, I think this year magiging bakbakan ang laban. Okay, Roscoe is asking, where should Nayela go next? BBP, MWP, or MUP? She's a gem. I am not so sure, Roscoe. Kasi, for me, if it were up to me, you either start or you end your pageant journey with Binibining Pilipinas. And in the middle there, you can do MWP, MPE, and and other national pageants in between. Kasi I think magandang training ground yung Binibining Pilipinas as your first pageant, because it will grill you on because it's a marathon. It's not a 1 week pageant and then tapos na. It's a 3-month long pageant, and it will it will build for you stamina. But at the same time, if you gusto mong makasigurado na kumorona ka in your final try, and you've already established yourself with a strong following and fan base, then you might want to end your career with Binibining Pilipinas and with a high note, kumbaga. Pero sa mga pre-pageant, for me, lamang ang Binibini. Ang photoshoots ng Binibini mas maganda compared sa MUPH. I think that's because Binibini has already established a standard visual, if that makes sense. Kumbaga parang meron na silang template kung ano yung hinahanap nila, gusto nila mangyari sa mga photoshoots nila. It also helps that they have been working with Sir Raymond for so long, from like 2000, early 2000s pa, parang 2005, yun yung unang cover niya, souvenir program cover niya with Binibini, if I'm not mistaken. So, ganun na siya katagal with the pageant that there is already established aesthetic, kumbaga, when it comes to Binibining Pilipinas visuals. Roscoe says, if I recall, Boy Abunda sent 10 different questions last year. Hindi ako sure. But if he mentioned that in one of his videos, then mukhang reiterations ng ibang questions niya pwedeng ginamit sa pageant. Although definitely this year, all the girls, all the candidates learned from him with a mentorship na hindi lang nakita kasi sa primer, na hindi binigyan ng pansin dun sa primer, but they had a session with him on Q&A. Ayan, dumadami na tayo sa ating live. Hello everyone. Please like naman kayo dyan para mas marami makakita sa ating session today. Ayun, Alsa Nosa, hello, attendance check. Ayan, hi Sir Jason, nakahabol. Na po ba na-miss? Hindi pa naman. We haven't started yet with the main topic. I'm just reading the comments right now. Ayun, Roscoe is saying, hi Sir Jason, happy Saturday. Guam is 2 hours ahead of the Philippines time, so late night na dito. Ayun. Ako, magpupuyat yata tayo ngayon, Roscoe. Ayan, may free na hotel stay po ba for accredited media like you nung coronation? No, actually. I actually booked my own hotel sa Novotel nung nagstay in kami doon, because it was an early birthday celebration na rin for me. I thought of treating myself and treating my dad and my sister. Kasi alam niyo naman, it has been a very difficult year personally for us, kaya I wanted naman na amidst all of this, heartbreaks and personal issues, mabigyan ko naman ng matreat ko naman ang tatay ko at saka kapatid ko na nandito. Ayun. Ravian John G. Quesada, hi Sir Jason, pa-attendance, nakaabot. Yes, nakaabot ka. Ayan. We're actually 30 minutes into the live na. I think it's about time that we should be talking about the what do you call this? The issue, the main issue na gusto nating pag-usapan today. So, okay, bago natin i-discuss yan, I think it's important that we read first kung ano yung memo na ipinarating ng Miss Universe organization sa mga national directors na this year. So here, I'm gonna read whatever portions that I can find on the internet kasi hindi yata buo yung naipa-scale ng mga pageant pages on the entirety of the memo. So the message goes, hello national directors. I hope this finds you all well and thriving. As you know, the Miss Universe organization has always strived to evolve with the changing times to best represent and support women globally. Since I arrived at the organization in January 2022, I have been evaluating our processes, procedures, and rules regarding eligibility to ensure that they represent the brand's values. Paula, president of the organization, has been with me on this journey. As part of the next step in our evolution, we have implemented the following changes. Now, you have to understand that this memo came from the newly appointed CEO of Miss Universe, Amy Emmerich. And she follows the entire memo with, effective with the 72nd Miss Universe competition and national preliminary competitions leading up to it. Women who are or have been married, as well as women who are pregnant or have children, will be able to compete. Now, yun yung medyo nakaka-rattle na part kasi yung pronouncement niya is a little bit medyo generic yung pagkaka-wording niya kasi women who are pregnant or have children. Dun ako sa medyo kinakabahan doon sa women who are pregnant. How far along are they in their pregnancy? Wala siyang binanggit na technicality on that. Kung 6 weeks ba? Allowed pa? Paano kung approaching 3rd trimester? Okay pa ba yun? Or kapag 2nd trimester, okay pa ba yun? Are they allowing women na on the 3rd trimester pwede pang mag-compete? So I mean, kinakailangan medyo medyo maingat sila doon dahil paano kung nanganak yung candidate doon sa mismong mismong Miss Universe pageant. So kargado de konsensya ba ng organization yon? Will they be liable for the candidate giving birth there sa host venue? And they need to be very specific about that. So let's continue with the memo. Earlier this year, we conducted surveys with our audience and you, our directors. The feedback was overwhelming that we believe women should have agency over their lives, and that a human's personal decisions should not be a barrier to their success. Recent data also shows that the average age of marriage for women and first-time pregnancy globally begins at 21. Despite the difference in our cultures and beliefs, this allows all women to put their faith in their own hands, and we will accommodate whoever is Miss Universe accordingly. We look forward to continue welcoming even more aspirant women to our community as a result of these latest changes. We want to share this you now as you begin preparations for your local pageants for 2023. We are planning our first National Director Town Hall for September and look forward seeing you at all virtually when we meet in person again at the Miss Universe pageant. So that is so far yung nakita ko na kabuuan ng memo na ito. I'm not sure if there is more, but if there is more, I think I will be discussing that on social media later on. But looking at how things are worded, especially on the last paragraph, it looks like it's a suggestion a strong suggestion for the national directors to comply with this, with this memo. Although it also feels like it's not yet in effect, and it could be discussed, the details on the, the town hall, or the discussions of the organization with the national directors this coming September. So pwede pang mabago yung technicalities of the memo, yung participation ng mga married, pregnant, unwed mothers in the competition. Now, ano sa tingin ko ano yung position ko on this memo? Honestly, feeling ko parang wala. Napaka-anticlimactic na. Honestly, ang feeling ko is like, this is something na the Miss Universe organization is doing to pander to the US market, to the US viewers. Feeling ko hindi ito something na globally accepted, na ang mga fans on a global scale are ready to accept with open arms. Kasi tingin ko, ginagawa lang nila ito para dumami ang audience nila sa North America, which is basically kung saan tinetelecast kung saan based yung pageant itself. And with that being said, parang it feels like for me, this might be a move na hindi ganon na hindi inisip yung global audience ng mismong pageant. I'm not sure if this is the right move. And that is why I don't feel strongly on either side ng argument, ng debate, because I have seen the Miss Universe make, very progressive moves over the last, the last several years. Aminin naman natin na mas nagiging woke yung pageant, na kahit na yung yung Me Too movement pinatos nila, kahit na yung yung environment friendly, climate change, chukimelatik, pinatos din nila. I am just worried that all of these very sudden, or rather not sudden, in your face na mga changes, are not subtly handled to appease yung international audiences nila, or yung mga long-time pageant audiences nila that would feel alienated because of this progression of events, because of these changes. Parang ano lang yan arguments lang yan ng mga middle, ng mga nasa gitna versus extreme right and extreme left. The moment that a pageant swings extreme right or extreme left, paano yung nasa gitna? Paano yung mga mapag-iiwanan sa gitna na hindi kaagad maka-adapt dun sa changes? I think that's something that na kinakailangan pag-isipan nilang mabuti before it takes effect on 2024 or on the 72nd edition of the pageant. Kasi there is really a huge risk that they are taking because of their very progressive na stance. Let's discuss about that in a minute. Now, alam nyo naman na sa Amerika, dalawa ang political parties dyan. It's either you are a Republican, you are on the right, or you are a Democrat, which is leaning left. And yung mga nangyayaring changes ng Miss Universe ngayon is leaning left. all of it is leaning towards the left, the progressive and woke na stance. I am not sure because the United States is a very, politically divided na country as of the moment. I feel that because they are so leaning left, the people who are in the middle or who are, on the extreme right is parang, how about them? How are you going to serve them? How are you going to, make pageants relevant to them? Na lahat ng mga decisions nyo is leaning really, really progressive left. So yun yung worry ko. Na imbes na makakuha pa sila ng mas maraming audience, that they grow their audience with those two political ideals, mas lalong nagkakaroon ng divide. And the danger here is that kahit nasabihin natin na huwag dapat haluan ng politika ang pageants, kapag ganito yung ginagawa ng mismong pageant organization mismo, magiging problema yon. Now, there are people who pointed out na kopya-kopya lang siya with Miss France, who earlier this year mentioned or announced that they are moving their pageant to allow married women and married women and unwed mothers to join. Yun yung common na critique ng ibang mga tao na napapansin na parang ginagaya nyo lang yung pagiging woke ng Miss France. I am not sure if will it work on an American audience because I can see it working for Miss France. Europe is generally more progressive thinking than I would say North America or Asia. I think that Asia and Latin America is still very conservative in their views on those, on those points, especially this Pilipinas. Come on, we are the only last two remaining country in the world who is still, still not open to legalize divorce. So, doon mo makikita na yung progressive thinking might not necessarily work on the more conservative na mga tao, mga more conservative na audience na gusto mong i-serve. Now, the growth rate, or rather the growth potential of pageantry is actually not in North America. I feel that. I think everybody, can say that out loud without, batting an eyelash, because I think the growth potential is actually in Asia and in Latin America. And doon mo makikita na, wait lang, saan tayo lulugar ngayon dito? Paano natin ibabalanse yung need for progress versus the need na mga mas conservative nating audience. So I think yun yung kinakailangan na pag-usapan ng Miss Universe organization with their national directors, because that is something that really is something that only they can make a decision on dahil pera nila yon. As fans, we can only voice our opinion, sway public opinion about this, but ultimately the decision is on those people who are funding the pageant, people who are, are involved monetarily with the pageant. So, bago natin ituloy yung rant natin about this, basa muna tayo ng mga comments. Okay. Curious Call. It's Curious Cali. Why can't they pick a panel composed of pageant experts? If I was applying for a job, I don't expect outsiders to screen me if I am fit for it. Thoughts? I think this is a question regarding pageants or Binibining Pilipinas or Miss MPE. But my overall thought about that is, sana nga, there is an aspect where the judging panel have a pageant expert sitting there. I am not necessarily how do you say this? I am not necessarily agree na kinakailangan pageant experts lahat yung nasa judging panel, but at least one or two is there to sit as a judge to provide a different perspective on things. However, maybe they think na, siguro for Binibining Pilipinas maybe they think na having the organization's, executive committee, sitting as a judge for the finals is enough, enough representation of the pageant community or the pageant panel. Pageant, what do you call this? Pageant expert in the panel. So, yon. But, hey, I'm up for representation if in case na gusto nilang magkaroon ng, experts sa judging panel. Mikel Britos, MUPH ay i-embrace na rin kaya nila ang bagong rules ng MU. Let's see. Kasi, again, as I said, ang Pilipinas, medyo conservative pa dyan. So, hintayin natin kung ano yung next move nila. Lemuel, 23.5. Hi, Sir Jess, and hello. I must say, MUO is being more inclusive now more than ever. It's about time. Fans have been wanting this change to be implemented for decades. Now, it's finally a reality. Yes, I agree. Miss Universe has been very, very inclusive, from removing height requirements to now this, to the allowing trans women to compete alongside cis women in the pageant. Ang worry ko lang is that with all of these changes na parang feeling mo sunod-sunod, feeling mo very very in your face at hindi subtle yung pag-implement, there is a worry that you are leaving a section behind, yung mga conservative mong mga audiences doon sa mga decision mo na very progressive. I am all for inclusivity. My only worry is that because of the rapid changes, the Miss Universe organization is leaving some key audiences behind. So yun lang yung akin. I don't care if later on gusto nila na i-expand yung i-expand nila yung age limit nila to women up to their 30s or 40s. Kung i-expand nila yung definition nila ng woman to include 12-year-old girls or 15-year-old girls in their roster of candidates, that's a decision that only they can create and they can implement. My only worry is tama ba yung timing? Kasi hindi pa nakaka-recover, I believe, ang pageant community sa mga changes ng formats, sa mga all-women na judging panel, and then here we are again, rocking the boat. Although, on paper, it looks really good. Ang nakikita kong hindi pa nila nakita yung magiging after effect on is dun sa application na. Okay? Juan Ramos, parang inaral yung sagot ng iba sa top 5 sa Binibining. Obvious. Well, kung nag-aral sila, then good for them. Kasi, hindi ka naman pwedeng sumabak sa pageant na hindi ka nag-aral. Diba? At saka, with the level of difficulty ng Q&A sa Binibini, maganda na rin yun para hindi rin sila masasabi na, hindi naman sila international caliber pagdating sa kudaan. So, let's see. Hopefully na the level of communication skills, they can translate that come international pageant season where they are competing not here in the Philippines but against international competitors. Clarinda May Cortez, should there be a proper prelim sa Binibining Pilipinas? We missed the chance to see all the girls do their things stage and have their moment. Okay, Clarinda, here's the thing. With Binibining Pilipinas, there are several preliminary competitions. The national costume show is one of those. The closed door interview is one of those. The press presentation is one of those. Now, ang nakikita ko na reason kung bakit siguro ayaw pa ng Binibini na magkaroon ng evening gown preliminaries for their pageant is simply because it will add another aspect of financial burden on the candidates. You all know na hindi naman sila kinakailangan maglabas ng pera for their swimsuits kasi they are all provided for. Hindi nila kinakailangan ng pera for wardrobe and accessories for their glam shot photo shoots kasi those are sponsored and arranged with various designers. Hindi nila kinakailangan maglabas ng swimsuits or rather ng pera for the application period. So, those things, I think, malaki na ang natipid ng mga candidates and I don't think na bibigyan pa sila ng additional burden ng Binibining Pilipinas for the evening gowns. Kasi, eto din yung naisip ko. Paano kung if you are a girl na on a tight string budget competing at Binibining Pilipinas and then may evening gown preliminaries and then meron ding evening gown photo shoot. Tapos may finals pa. Paano kung iisa lang talaga yung competition gown na meron ka? Hindi ka makapaghingi ng additional na gown sa designer mo because you've paid for it or wala ka masyadong kakilalang mga designers or stylists that can help you out with additional wardrobe for these other segments of the competition. So, paano kung yung nag-iisang evening gown mo, yun ang gagamitin mo sa glam shot, sa finals, sa prelims? People would think na, nakita na namin yan, paulit-ulit na lang. So, there's also that kind of, apprehension siguro on the Binibining Pilipinas part na hindi na nila i-burden ang mga girls ng additional na expense. And another thing is that kapag may prelims and finals, then definitely lahat ng mga candidates magkakaroon ng preliminary gown and evening gown for the finals. So, again, additional expense yun dahil siyempre, kapag nagamit mo na ng prelims, the conventional thinking is dapat iba pagdating sa finals. Right? And on the production part naman ng Binibini siguro is kapag ang girl, isa lang yung competition gown niya na gagamitin niya sa prelims and finals, baka mamaya hindi na mag-translate ng ganun kaganda yung performance ng girl from the prelims using the same gown until the finals or for whatever technicality na maisip nila na it might not like nawala na yung surprise at chuchuchu kemelatik ayaw nang gamitin ni girl yung yung ginamit niya na gown kahit na mas magandang gown or mas comfortable siya na gown na gusto niyo gamitin sana for the finals. So those are things na nakakadagdag pa sa stress ng candidate. So, for me, mas gusto ko na ang focus natin doon sa National Costume and Fashion Show is the national costume itself rather than have an evening gown preliminaries simply because mas nagkakaroon tayo ng appreciation sa sa tradition and culture natin with the National Costume Show. That is why I'm not really sold on the idea na kinakailangan na ng Binibining Pilipinas na magkaroon ng separate evening gown preliminaries. Although, kung in the future they would want to have a preliminary evening gown competition, then I would be just so happy kasi for me, additional content din yun on social media. Ayun, there. Curious Kali, I think MUPH tried to select someone with personality, not necessarily intellect. It's easier to train ladies with technical knowledge than train them on how to be natural when answering questions. Siguro, perhaps, but for me kasi, bago ka makarating doon sa personality question sa finals ng Miss Universe, dadaan ka muna dun sa top 5 na very political, very polarizing yung mga questions, very thought-provoking yung mga questions on social issues. So, siguro, kokopyahin na din lang naman nila yung format ng Miss Universe, might as well kopyahin na lang all throughout. Mikel Britos, perfect yung tanong sa final question sa MU 1999 sa nangyayari ngayon sa Miss Universe Rules. Agree. Pero tignan natin kung kapag nagcorona ba sila ng nagcorona ba sila ng married na woman with kids, kapag si Miss Universe na married and with kids nagkaroon ng problema sa family, sinong uunahin niya? Pamilya niya o yung trabaho niya as Miss Universe? So yon, pag-isipan natin yon. Lemuel235 is asking, what can you say, sir, about what can you say, sir, that Harleen handler Sir Wilbert had talked to Binibining Pilipinas and plans to send Harleen to compete in an international pageant. Actually, nakinig na namin yan. Gusto talaga ni Sir Will daw na isabak si Harleen sa international pageants. I think sa ngayon parang may 4 or 5 na pinagpipilian. I am not sure, that's just hearsay at this point na narinig ko. But if totoo, I think Harleen would be a good representative provided that yung mga weak areas niya on the Q&A na aspect, continuous lang niya ipulido kasi again with Harleen, the potential is there. So huwag nating tanggalin yung opportunity for her. Huwag natin siyang ipagkaitan ng oportunidad na i-representa naman ang Pilipinas in international competition. Sir Jason, regards kay Harleen, sabi po ni Sir Will. Okay, so Leogard CG, related dito sa question kanina ni Lemuel. With regards kay Harleen, sabi po ni Sir Will, nagpaalam po siya sa Binibining na lalaban si Harleen sa international pageant. Di po ba pag ganon need niya mag-resign if hindi ako nagkakamali? I don't know the technicality on the nakasulat na kontrata, pero kung nagpaalam at pinayagan, then well and good. Doon lang naman tayo sa sana dumaan sa legal na process para hindi tayo magkaroon ng aberya, na hindi na magkaroon ng breach of contract, kasi ayoko magkaroon ng mas malaking sakit ng ulo with regards to that. Again, Binibining Pilipinas is a very flexible, I believe, na pageant org. So if they are flexible and willing to give this opportunity to Harleen, then walang problema. Curious Kali, how about unmarried or separated women? It would have been more powerful if they also mentioned women of all sizes. Yun na nga. I think mas okay kung sana nilagay din nila yon na they're open for plus size women to join. They're open for, women with physical disabilities to join. Kasi it would give, more power nga. Tama yung sinabi mo dun sa statement nila. Art Laurent, sorry friend, I'm late. Good morning. Hi Art. What do you call this? Good morning dyan sa Canada. Sana hindi masyado malamig dyan ngayon. Kasi dito sa Pilipinas, maulan dito sa Cubao. Okay. Hajiyev says, "Ay, I'm late." Hehehe. Okay lang 'yan. Marami pa naman tayong pag-uusapan. Kasi marami pa tayong mga questions dito sa ating chat box. Roscoe is saying na I don't understand why MUO still pushes to please the American market when majority of the pageant market comes from Latin America and now Asia. Agree. Parang pilit sila ng pilit ang Miss U na to pander, to grovel. I think that's the more appropriate na word, no? They're groveling talaga for the American audiences. And they're only groveling to a very small na woke audience rather than include everyone in their tent. Kumbaga parang wag sana silang masyadong leaning right or leaning left. There should be, a space where both the conservative and the progressive na pageant fans have voice and representation in their decisions. There. Art Laurent, sobrang nang nagmumukhang karinderyang bukas sa lahat ng gustong kumain. Downhill spiral na ang hanap nila. True. Kasi if you are open for everyone, then hindi ka Chanel, hindi ka Dior. Ano ka? H&M, Forever 21, Shane. You're not high-end. You're not, how do you say this? You're a mass market brand. Yun ang lumalabas kapag open ka sa lahat ng sa lahat ng gustong kumain sa karinderya mo. You cannot level a karinderya to a restaurant level na mas may premium ng dahil sa ginagawa mo. Kung ang baseline mo kahit sino pwede. Kinakailangan meron ka pa rin standards na pinag-uusapan, meron ka pa din na mataas na standards on the girls na pwedeng mag-apply sa'yo. Although, nakikita ko rin na open kami sa lahat, pero ito lang ang ikokoronahan namin. I mean, I hope you get that. I mean, we're open for everybody, but not everybody will become Miss Universe. So, it's also a possibility that that is what they're doing. They're opening the wide net, the net wider, but they're gonna pick out yung mga undesirables nila later on doon sa nahuli nila doon sa net nila. So that could also be, something na naisip nila na hindi naman lahat magiging Miss Universe sa mga yan eh. So pwedeng sige magpasok tayo pero ang mananalo pa din single. Who knows kung ganun nga ang mentality nila about that. Wait lang, let me just refill yung aking iniinom. Give me just a second. Muulan. Kinakailangan ko rin magsara ng bintana at i-refill itong nasa mug ko. Okay? 1 second. Okay, and we're back. Ganun lang. Kabilis. So, nasaan na tayo? Let's continue muna with the comment section. Okay. Clarinda May Cortez, she's saying, they will accept married women and mothers, but they will not yet crown one, maybe in a few years. Polarizing pa ang new rules sa pageant world. Di ko alam kung people-pleasing ang MU or genuine move. Actually, you know what? It makes sense yung comment mo. Yeah, pwede nga ganun na, sige, let's just open the door for now, pero kung kailan tayo mangorona, it can be like 10 years in the future, 5 years in the future, who knows. So, yes, doon sa sinabi mo, if it's a genuine move or it's just people-pleasing, yan ang hindi natin malalaman. But for now, from the looks of it, from the looks of the organization that is becoming more and more women led na organization, hindi ako magtataka na baka later on wala nang lalaking officer sa Miss Universe na pwedeng later on it's an organization, an all-female organization later on. Hindi natin madi-discount na mangyari yon in the future. So yeah, maybe Roscoe, okay. There. Roscoe is saying they should focus on their global market and not just their American view, which is what Miss World is doing right now. Hindi sila nagpapatumpik-tumpik na i-host ang pageant sa China, sa ibang parts ng mundo because they are growing their brand organically from one country to another. And this is also shown in the activities ng winner nila or ng winners nila because every time na may kokoronahan from a country, nandun ang Miss World winner to be there, and then from that presence, nag-network din ang Miss World organization to to the different national orgs. Kaya if titignan mo, ang Miss World ngayon, sila yung may pinakamaraming candidates because they can have 120 candidates in just one edition. While ang Miss Universe, nung kapang na-breach yung 100 na candidates. So, yeah. Very well said, Roscoe. Curious Cali, based on the new MUO rules, isalpak na si Marian Rivera at Ann Curtis. Tignan natin kung tatanggapin sila kasi syempre nag-judge na si di ba? Nag-judge na si Marian. Gusto pa ba nilang kunin siya as a winner? Plus, I think maganda ang lakad ng career ni Marian. Gusto pa ba niya na makihati ang Miss Universe org sa kikitain niya, di ba? Parang kikita ka na nga ng limpak-limpak. Mo yun, isasakripisyo mo ba yun para kumita ng barya-barya lang? Ayun, pero who knows, tignan natin. Catherine Balois. Hello po, Sir Jason. Good evening. Good evening, Catherine. Sir, kung ikaw po ang magpa-place ng winners ng MWPH 2022 po, anong crown or international pageant niyo po sila ilalagay? At this point, moot point na siya, Catherine, kasi parang we're just opening up old wounds kapag i-reposition natin sila. Nakita naman natin na all the girls are now, focused on their international training. So, let's just move on na lang from there. Kasi tingin ko naman at this point, wala na rin tayong magagawa kahit na hypothetical scenario na naman tayo on that end. Ayun. Haji F. It's a Pandora's box. So next time there will be no age limits, etc. It will dilute the brand more and more. Exactly. In branding, if you cater for everyone, you lose your identity as a brand. So, I think sana maisip yun ng Miss Universe org. G Manila saying na, I'm not in favor of this. Miss Universe is supposed to be aspirational. It's like a dream. Thus, standards are meant to be in place. They can form another pageant, but please not Miss Universe. Yun na nga, G. They sold the national, the national franchise for Miss Universe already. So, sa tingin ko, parang gusto nilang magpaka-inclusive talaga eh. So, hayaan mo sila. Problemahin nila pag hindi nag-work. Yun na lang, di ba? Kasi, at this point in time, parang tingin ko, with Amy Emmerich appointed as CEO, lahat ng mga magiging moves nila is going to be leaning towards the left or leaning towards the more progressive stance on things. So, I'm really starting to suspect na lahat ng namamalakad sa Miss Universe mga Democrats lahat at mga anti-Republicans. But I mean, who knows, 'di ba? Ako naman suspecha lang 'yon. Art Laurent is saying na, I'm a progressive liberal, but I'm not in favor with new ruling or criteria for MUO. Super disappointed. Actually, Art, marami sa inyo ang disappointed. On my end, kasi hindi ko alam kung madi-disappoint ako or matutuwa because I have always been trying to see the wisdom on their decisions. Hindi ko masabi kung tama yung decision nila o mali. Kasi tingin ko tama yung intention. Pero ang tanong ba is, will this be a decision na welcome ang majority ng pageant community? Kasi if they are only doing this to pander to the American audience, then paano naman yung global audience nila? Parang sinasabi lang nila na itong US market sila ang nagdi-dictate ng global atmosphere on pageants. Kayo ang sumunod. 'Di ba? Look at it from that kind of perspective. So, you might want to, reevaluate if your decisions are right because you are thinking that you are superior on, you know, on uh, on a global scale where baka naman you're just doing it because you're only pandering to a certain, you know, person of people. So yun lang. Yun lang ang gusto kong sanang mas pag-isipan lalo ng MU, hindi yung bira ka ng bira tapos kakambyo ka lang din naman pala in the end. Um, Brandy could. I must saying na I must admit this new rule of the Miss Universe organization really threw me off guard. Yes, I see the effort to be progressive, but it also screams woke politics, which can be toxic most of the time. Totoo. I have, you know, I have the same sentiments na parang masyadong pa-woke na yung pageant na nakalimutan nila na guys, dagdagan nyo naman ng entertainment value yung pageant ninyo. Focus on that. Focus on your performers kasi parang lately ang mga performance nila parang mga C-list celebrities na, mga B-list celebrities na. Parang kailan kayo nagkaroon ng A-list superstars na nag-perform in the past 5 years sa ano ninyo, sa pageant ninyo? Parang isa, dalawa? You really need to step up on the entertainment factor. Kung talagang woke kayo, then go for it. Go all in. Gumamit kayo ng mga lahat kinakailangan lahat ng mga candidates ninyo may ginagawa for climate change, may ginagawa for I don't know, for whatever social issues that they are championing for. Kayo din sa pageant, ipakita din nyo, ginagawa din nyo yung part ninyo as, you know, as woke warriors na sinasabi na hindi hanggang changing of rules lang, changing of lang, kinakailangan like ultimo bumbilya na ginagamit ninyo sa sa mga pageants ninyo, kinakailangan eco-friendly dahil gusto niyo magpaka-green, you know, magpaka-green ethos sa pageant ninyo. So hindi yung greenwashing lang ang ginagawa ninyo. You really have to do the things that entails na hindi kayo lip service lang. If changing the rules is one of them, then take it further kasi you have the means and you have the capability. And then at the same time, i-elevate din nyo yung branding ninyo while doing this to make your pageant palatable to a bigger audience. Because at the end of the day, you still need to show na meron kayong ginagawa on the entertainment factor of your pageant, dun sa gloss factor ng pageant, para hindi kayo napag-iiwanan. Kaya nga, malakas ang loob ng Miss Grand International, ng Miss Supranational, dahil alam nila they can deliver on the gloss aspect of the competition. Yung Miss Universe kasi, hindi na ganun ka-entertaining yung kanilang mga shows as compared to, let's say, during the Trump era. It's not about going back to the Trump era na production, but rather finding, you know, the good things there on the production side that you can add on to your pageant to level things up, na hindi pwedeng paakyat nga ang wokeness ninyo pero pababa naman yung production and entertainment value ng pageant ninyo. So parang konting balance lang, because at the end of the day it's not about moving extremely right or extremely left. It's about balance. It's about good balance. Kasi if you tip the scale too heavy towards the right or too heavy towards the left, pwedeng matumba ka, right? So find the right balance. Yun lang. Hajiev, next time wala na ring swimsuits to appease the religiously conservative and the radical feminists, and Miss U might end up like the bland Miss America. Kaya the changes of rules should be really studied. Tama, Hajiev. Tama naman. You don't want na maging Miss America 2.0 din naman ang Miss Universe na wala nang tumatangkilik. Ayun. G. Manila says, I miss the days when Miss Universe was, capital was, capital W-A-S, was really Miss Universe with the enigmatic prestige. Conservatism still has its place in society. Just look at Japan. Ayun. Aurora Cassiopeia gave us, 5 thumbs up. So, there you go. Chris Saligan, okay. Chris Saligan says, this ridiculous new rules of MUO will just make MGI more relevant in the years to come. Di ba nga, gusto nga ng MGI na in the next 3 or 5 years, maungusan nila as number 1 na international pageant ang Miss Universe. So, humanda ka, Miss Universe. Medyo may kalabang ka. Konting wag masyadong mataas ang ego na hindi mo nakikita na dumadami na ang pageants ngayon at you already have a smaller slice of the pie because a lot of pageant fans are now taking notice of other international pageants. Okay, Clarinda May Cortez, thanks for answering Sir J on my prelims questions. Makes sense. Well, I hope na nagustuhan mo yung sagot. Rodvin Fial, pwede may evening gown prelims pero ibalik ang kumbia. Wag na. Just Lord, wag na. Dorothy V. Jones is asking kung si Lara ba slowly assume the primary role in Binibining Pilipinas. I cannot say for now kung ano yung kanyang role, but I have a suspicion that she will be the more public face of the execom. Unlikely more older na execom members. So baka siya yung ifino-front na maging muka ng execom sa pageant. Yes, Rodvin, tama. Hawak nga ni Sir Wilbert yung Mr. Gaywood Philippines. Leogard CG, yes. Thank you, Sir Jason, sa pag-answer. Sayang din kasi talaga. May aura si Herlene. Super love her. Sana payagan po siya. I think naman papayagan. Wait lang Let me just adjust something. Okay, let's get back to that. Okay, in regards kay Herlene, I think naman ang Binibining Pilipinas, they are willing naman to work with yung mga managers ng mga talents ng mga queens nila. And kung hindi man payagan, siguro magkakaroon ng talks on the legalities muna kung bakit hindi siya papayagan. And then I hope na they are the both sides will be open to work together alongside para mabigyan din naman ng opportunity si Herlene. Ayan. Derek says, I believe there was a survey that they sent out and majority wanted to have married and women with children to be allowed to join MU. Is just doing what the public demanded for them to do. Yun nga, Derek. Sana they should also be open to release yung details of that survey. Kasi pwede kang magpa-survey, kayo-kayo lang sa office. Lahat kayo gusto nyo na i-allow ang mga married women. So, 'di ba? Parang paano ko ang sinurvey mo is mga national directors lang. So, you really need to get into the details of the survey, kung sino ang sampled for that survey, gaano kalaki yung margin of error ng survey na yon, ano yung sample populace ng survey na yon, because all of those things can be manipulated to get the results that you want. So, there. Jeff Osteria, present, heart, 100. Okay, welcome to the chat room. Welcome to the live natin ngayon. Derek is also saying, the fact that they opened the competition to trans women, yet no trans women has yet been crowned in Miss Universe yet, just tells me that the same thing will happen to this new rule. Pwede nga rin naman. Kasi wala pa naman pumapasok sa semis na transgender na winner, di ba? Ping says, I hope they will adjust the age just like Miss Global. Yeah, sana. sana maisip nila. Pero, Lord, katakot-takot na naman na puna siguro ang mangyayari sa kanila. Kasi sana inuna muna nila yon bago ito. Para hindi naman ganun parang blatant yung shock ng ng announcement, 'di ba? Derek says, unfortunately, they have to do this because no major network even wants to show Miss Universe anymore except for Telemundo. And if Telemundo remains as the only one, then it will be a Latina winner every time. Actually, makes sense. Pero, yun na nga. Anong nangyari? Bakit nawalan ng amor yung mga major national TV stations ng US sa Miss Universe? Yun yung kinakailangan nilang alamin. If the problem is yung kanilang ratings, then there is a possibility na there's something wrong with their production or the way they package their production, the way they market their production, or the way they do all of those things for their finals. So parang hindi ko rin masabi kasi talagang ang US and Canada talaga nawawalan na ng amor sa pageants. So it's the audience itself talaga ang nawawalan ng amor or nawawalan ng interest sa pageant. So parang ano lang yan eh. Parang pinagsisiksikan lang nila sarili nila doon sa audience na ayaw na sa kanila. 'Di ba? Instead of retaining whatever their audience says, na may amor pa sa kanila. Okay. Roscoe Paeste, I want to know is that will women who have families or is pregnant can keep up with the rigorous schedule of a winner locally and internationally? Exactly. Yun yung isa din ko sa pinupunto ko kanina na paano kung may emergency sa bahay, emergency sa family, yung si Miss Universe winner, will they allow the candidate or the Miss Universe winner to spend longer time with their families? Diba? Parang paano naman yung duties and responsibilities mo as a winner? Parang you cannot serve two masters at once. You really have to pick one. And unfortunately, sa society natin, that is an extra burden on women. An unfortunate burden for women that they have to take care of. And I am just hoping na for women who have spouses, yung husbands nila would, take over kung sakaling wala man si wife serving as Miss Universe. I hope that there is a support system behind para magawa din naman ni Miss Universe yung trabaho niya as Miss Universe at hindi yung lalabas na parang iniwanan niya yung responsibilidad niya sa pamilya niya because of Miss Universe. Ayun. Saan ito? Dorothy V. Jones, ayan. I've always noted from day one that Miss Emmerich I've always noted from day one that Miss Emmerich assumed the CEO role to prepare Celeste for more progressive mindset. Her projects from MTV to Refinery 29 have consistent feminist themes. Yun na nga ang kinakatakutan ko kasi there is a negative connotation when it comes to feminism nowadays. Hindi siya maganda pakinggan, hindi siya maganda tignan. Doon sa mga very aggressive na feminist na hindi tinitignan din yung balanse ng mga bagay-bagay. Van Oscar Tabalok says, Sir Jess, if the decision was reached because of an Instagram poll, how can you say that this is not what the global pageant fans wanted? Most followers ba ng MUIG are concentrated sa United States? I don't know kung paano nila ginawa yung poll na sinasabi nila. That's why I would want muna that they show the survey. Hindi yung Instagram poll lang kasi ang Instagram polls would only last for 24 hours. Paano kung let's say yung audience na nakakita ng poll mo nakalimutan sumagot, hindi na bumalik. Or yung the ones who saw your poll are primarily the 10% na madalas nagpa-follow sa iyo at hindi lahat. So, I mean, I really want to see how they conducted the survey to see kung talagang valid ba yung results based on population of nung poll responders, ano yung age range. Baka naman panay 16-year-old yung sumagot dun sa ano nila kasi Instagram poll lang, di ba? Gandaging says, globally, ang demand ay i-raise sana ang maximum age. Wala pa akong narinig na sana i-allow ang married or pregnant. Derek says, I bet Miss Grand International will benefit from this. Definitely. And i-spin yan ni Uncle to whatever advantage it can do for his pageant. Trust me. One of these days, biglang magpapalive yan, magpo-post yan na sa Instagram to really rile up yung sentiment ng mga tao. Dorothy V. Jones is saying, once other pageants imitate the MUO initiative, I think Miss Universe will rethink this decision because every pageant will be off the same mold. Precious Grace B. Saying, their intention is right, but I guess mawawala na ng standard yung Miss Universe pageant itself. I mean, how could you judge a pregnant or married woman during swimsuit competition against the usual candidates? Dorothy Jones says, love your thumbnail for this vlog. Thank you. Gloria Diaz says, oh my God, it's like you're saying women can't be CEOs because they have to take care of their families. Bakla, wala akong sinabing ganyan. Ang sinasabi ko is paghihirapan ng mga babae na to serve their families at the same time to serve their duties and responsibilities as Miss Universe, especially kung travel si Miss Universe. Hindi lang naman sa Pilipinas or sa US nagta-travel ang Miss Universe. Every state meron silang nagiging schedule, and sometimes nakwento na ito ni Mia Sanchez as Miss Universe, as Miss USA, even at times bigla siyang bibigyan ng schedule na meron kang appearance on this schedule on this date just the evening before. So paano pag mo i-marry yun na biglaan kung minsan ang schedule ng mga Miss Universe winners. Ikaw, Gloria, ha, wag kang intrimitida, wag kang masyadong mag-asumera kasi hindi maganda 'yan. All I said was that there are things and aspects na mas mahirap sa mga babae kaysa sa aming mga lalaki o sa aming mga bakla when it comes to choosing family and their careers. And I should know that because my mom, when I grew up, focused on career kasi kinakailangan ng two household income nung panahon na yon. So you really need to be very careful with your wording kasi I'm not a sexist person and I don't think na yung insinuation mo ay nakakaganda. Yun lang. Okay? Derek, is it production that controls that or is it because the American market thinks pageants are dated and more audience is in the US are being more progressive and more woke? A little bit of both, although I think it's more of the fact that the audiences talaga in the US are really veering away from the Miss Universe pageant. Dorothy V. Jones, in response to Jason's comment, I think Miss Emmerich's feminism as reflected in Miss Universe would translate to women helping women. It won't be an Amazon tribe party. I hope nga na ganon. Kasi there is also, an aspect where people are turned off masyado sa mga woke people, mga woke audiences na masyadong aggressive sa kanilang point of view. Kung minsan kasi yung punto de vista nila, hindi lahat hindi ko nilalahat, but there are people na masyadong aggressive sa kanilang pagka-wokeness. And yun yung ayaw kung mangyari because that would alienate the other pageant na fans in the US. Yun pa man din yung to the Miss Universe pageant is that's the market that they really serve. Ayun. Art Lorette is saying, saka kung married na ang winner, ay hindi na dapat Miss ang title. Dapat, tama lang din lang naman. Dapat Mrs. na. Ayan, Catherine Valois. Sir Jason, do you think PPCI will reacquire the Miss Supranational Philippines franchise kung sakaling magbabalik loob po sila? I think so naman. I think there's room for for pageants who wants to go back. Pero sila naman ang manligaw ng Binibining Pilipinas, 'di ba? Dorothy V. Jones says, I'm pretty sure Miss Sugart has appropriately advised and guided Miss Emmerich on the following of Miss Universe. I think so too. Kasi kung nabanggit nga niya dun sa what do you call this, nabanggit nga dun sa email or rather dun sa memo na there is consultation going on with Paula and Amy, then baka nga naman talagang naisip nila that this is for the good of the company, this is good for the pageant. Dominic Martin Nishon. Hi, Sir Jason. Watching from Perth, Australia. Hello there, mate. I'm not sure kung anong oras na dyan, but I hope na it's hindi pa red eye levels na inaantok ka na. Ayan. Anyway, totally shocked by the news. Do you think that the Philippine org is ready for that change? Hindi ko alam. Honestly, hindi ko alam kung magiging ready ba ang Pilipinas. Pero, if they have a year or 2 years, like nabanggit na sa 72nd Miss Universe pa, magiging applicable yung bagong ruling na to, I think yung, what do you call this, yung 2 taon, from here on and that point, would be enough time na maging komportable ang Pilipinas, maging komportable ang Pinoy pageant audiences. With that idea. So maybe they made the announce as early as now para by the time that it is in effect, mas tanggap na ng mga tao. Which I think that is the wisdom with the announcement now. Para by the time that it rolls into effect, it's already something na nakasanayan na natin. Ayun. Catherine Valois is asking, do you think MWPH acquiring the Miss Grand Philippines franchise will attract more quality pageant delegate? Siguro. Sa totoo lang, wala rin akong masyadong amor sa MGI. The only amor na meron ako is pag nagpapadala tayo ng candidate doon. Kasi syempre, susuportahin pa rin natin ang pageant ni Angkol hanggat may Pinay na lumalaban. If it moves nga sa Miss World Philippines tulad ng mga napapabalita, then susuportahan pa rin naman natin ang candidate natin kahit na malipat sa MWP, di ba? It's something extra lang kasi nasa Binibining Pilipinas pa lang siya ngayon. I am not sure if the same level of amor is going to be given kapag lumipat sa MWP. Tignan muna natin, di ba? Pero for sure, ang mga Pinoy susuportahan kasi kahit na sinong representative natin sa pageant ni Uncle hanggat may representative tayo. Derek, medyo controversial ang sinasabi ni Derek kasi sa tingin niya, this is to get a major network in the US to show Miss Universe. They have had problems with that in recent years, and the new CEO being progressive and a feminist might suggest this. Pwede nga din, baka mamaya this will allow, allow bigger TV networks in the US na isipin na sige nga ipasok natin ang Miss Universe networks natin. Brandy kut Bandy kut says, Sir Jason, what is your reaction on Andreas Leigh, the creative director, resigning from the organization? Bandy, nauna ko na siyang talakayin earlier dun sa umpisa, dun sa like first 10 minutes of of our pa-live, replay ka na lang later, okay? Kasi magdadalawang oras na tayo na nagla-live. Kinakailangan natin na let's just make this maybe under 2 hours lang. Huwag tayong umabot nung nakaraan na nag 4 hours or 3 hours pala tayo. Art Laurent, friend, hindi mo binasa yung comment ko kay Gloria Diaz. Okay. Art, hindi ko na hindi ko hindi ko nakita, pasensya na. Baka nasobrahan ko na yung kaka swipe dito sa ating comment section. Catherine Valois says, Sir, di po nag-translate yung pagka-glossy ng BBP 22 sa TV. Yes, nabanggit ko na din yan kanina. Hindi talaga nag-translate kasi ang ganda-ganda niya sa live, pero pagdating sa sa recorded na live, parang okay. There's something wrong with the equipment siguro, kaya hindi HD, hindi ganun ka-glossy. Bakit ganun siya kadilim tignan? Samantalang doon sa mismong pa-live, parang ang liwaliwanag. Sa sobrang liwanag nga, kita pa nga namin hanggang katapusan ng tawag nito, ng pageant, yung smoke na hindi nag-subside, yung smoke effect dun sa opening number na hindi nag-subside hanggang sa final na pinalabas sa screen. So yun. Okay, Dorothy is saying na I wish Madam Stella and Madam Lara would also come out with a sort of similar kindness campaign for Filipino online fans. We need to tone it down with the negative and fighting words during live coverages. Ayoko din naman na i-co-opt ng Binibining Pilipinas yung MUPH na campaign kasi it's not gonna look good for Binibining Pilipinas. Ayun. Kasi ang Binibining Pilipinas, kinokopya ng MUPH eh. Alam mo naman na, from how I see it, it looks like that they're kinokopya ng mga moves nila on social media postings. Like, nung naglabas ang Binibining Pilipinas ng mga teasers sa kanilang mga songs dun sa bagong Win Your Heart na songs, biglang pakitaan mo na lang ng MUPH na meron din silang posting na available on Spotify, yung mga kanta ng MUPH. So parang mahirap lang mangyari na masilipan sila ng ganung the same puna, di ba? Hindi ko alam, Catherine, kung sino ang naka-acquire ng Miss Charm Philippines franchise. Kung napaso na yung Miss Charm na franchise under Mercator, I'm not sure kung may sumalo na local franchise. Controversial tong tanong ni Precious Grace D. What do you think of other beauty pageant vlogger that found Celeste's appearance on GMA Gala too revealing and disgusting daw po? Nakakaumay daw po. Me, I love it so much. Super goddess. Hindi naman malaswa. Sa tingin ko parang some fans are just making issue out of it. I don't know. Kasi sa tingin ko naman, mukha namang, sexy, yes, definitely. May impact, oo, may impact. Pero malaswa, parang, hindi naman yata. Parang nag-i-imagine na lang yung mga ibang fans na ganon. Parang feeling ko, it's not an issue. It shouldn't be an issue kung ano yung suot niya. Kasi tingin ko naman maganda yung overall look niya. Ayun. Sir, nakakamiss po ang presence ni Madam Stella sa DVP coronation. Actually, totoo. Kami din ng mga media, we were also hoping na sana magpakita siya. Pero, I have no clue where she is. Kung bakit hindi siya nagpakita. Kung nasa Blue Mansion lang ba siya sa Cubao o kung saan. Chris Saligan, to add lang, doubtful talaga ako sa paandar na to ng Miss U. Kasi si Harnas nga, tumaba lang, nahihirapan ng MUO pagkuha ng endorsement. Paano kaya ang winner na buntis or mother? Mga gatas ads niya. I don't know. Sa totoo lang, nakaka-stress isipin that far. But who knows na baka in 2024, kung kailan in effect na itong decision nila na to, baka naman magbago ang isip pa natin. Ayan. Ping, Sir Jason, pa-update naman po what international pageants are considered big pageants. Kung sinabi mong alpha pageants, of course, Miss Earth, Miss World, Miss Universe, Miss International. Pag sinabi mong big five, kasama ang supranational. Pag sinabi mong big 7 or 8, definitely kasama na dyan yung grand and grand, intercon and globe. Kapag sinabi mong heritage pageants, MU, MI, at saka Miss World. Yun lang yun. Depende kasi sa branding or depende sa wording na ginamit kung ano yung pageant na papasok doon. So, there. Wait lang. Nice. Kailangan ko ulit ni ayusin. Kakaloka itong mga technical issues natin dito sa Pilipinas. Wait lang. Okay, there. That's okay. Back na ulit. Hindi tayo hindi na tayo magka-issue ulit. Okay, Dorothy V. Jones, lesson learned, don't use pyrotechnic effects. Pwede naman to use pyrotechnic effects, pero pinakailangan lang na meron din meron ding machine na nagsasak out nung usok para hindi siya ganoon ka usok tignan, di ba? Kasi ako from start to finish nakikitaan ko ng usok talaga yung stage. So, ewan ko lang, di ba? Anong kababalaghan ng production team na hindi nila isip yan. Dominic Martin Mission. Western Australia and Philippines are in the same time zone. Oh, I did not know that. By the way, what do you think of Wilbert's plan to look for an international pageant for Hippo? Do you think it's an encroachment? For me, it is. Well, it all depends talaga sa usapan nila with Binibining Pilipinas. Now, if walang basbasang Binibining Pilipinas at nag-pursue si Sir Wilbert, baka maging grounds for dethronement or breach of contract on the side of Herlene. So, I don't know kung ano magiging usapan nila kasi hindi pa ako privy doon sa nangyayari sa kanila ngayon. If nagpaalam, kung nagpaalam, walang problema. Ayun. Nagpaalam at pinayagan, Ayun. Hi! Okay, Bandy, alam mo na nasagot ko na yan, hindi ko napanood ang MPE. So, wala akong masasabi aside from the fact na ang ganda ni Jenny Ram, na tingin ko deserving siya na manalo. Kasi, I honestly, hindi ko talaga naalala na ngayon ang Miss Philippines Earth. Dorothy V. Jones says, I wish they would consider Charlene Gonzalez-Mulak as host. She's quite reliable, memorizes her scripts, very spontaneous. Agree. I think Charlene would be a good host. Nakita din naman natin kung paano mag-host in the past with her stint at Easy Dancing. So, tignan natin naman kung Binibining Pilipinas would allow her a role in future productions. So, yun na nga. Going back to our main topic, before I end today's live session. I am honestly lukewarm doon sa issue na ito. I am at the fence whether it's the right move or it's a wrong move on the organization's part. I understand kung saan nanggagaling ang organisasyon, kung bakit nila gusto na palawakin yung eligibility nila to include mothers, married women, and pregnant women. It's just that I am not sure if this is the right timing. Or perhaps kung in the long term, it will be good for them. Kasi hindi ko talaga lubos maisip na isang Mrs. magiging Miss Universe. But I am open to the idea if it means, inclusivity for everyone to be able to join. Kasi if trans women nga inallow nila, then how much more mga married women and pregnant women and unwed mothers, di ba? Ang sa akin lang, I am hoping that the execution would be done more smoothly and that it's not a decision that is just made out of wokeness for clout, for, to pander for the American audiences. I want na sana ito genuine at bukal sa loob ng organization na ito yung sa tingin nilang way of moving towards the right path for the pageant. I am reserving judgment for later kung paano nila gawin to. Kasi I think that the decision is correct. But the question is, would be the execution and the later on the acceptance of the pageant community be more welcoming. So yun lang. I think naman na yung conventional na thinking here is, of course, merong pushback always when something this big of a decision is made. So I am just hoping that ang Miss US inaral talaga nila yung decision na ito. And that I am hoping na pangatawanan nila ito in the future. Kasi if they are only doing this just to please the woke American audiences na ayaw talaga sa kanila, na hindi talaga sila yung market ng pageant na industry, ng community. Wag sana nilang ipagsiksikan masyado yung mga sarili nila doon sa market na hindi sila tatanggapin at pabayaan yung market where tanggap ang pageants. So yun lang. Mga final comments na lang tayo before we end this live. Dorothy is saying, I always thought about her lean and how she would handle her reign if she has so many show business schedules. Now her management is looking for a pageant for her. Oh my. Love Miss Shucks Red Headband, lol. Was Fantasy Island this year's theme. Yasha is saying, maraming Americans ang ayaw din sa woke. So, yun na nga. Again, it really all boils down to execution and if this is the right decision to undertake at this moment. But if again yung implementation niya is 2 years in the future, then maybe mag-warm up pa yung mga tao later on. So we cannot really say for now kung tama o hindi tama yung judgment and yung call nila to move towards this direction. But I think we as pageant fans and pageant community, hintayin natin or bigyan natin sila ng pagkakataon na to do this right, na they prove na tama yung decision nila para on our part, hindi tayo nag-jump kaagad doon sa bandwagon na ayaw natin kaagad. Because any change, any progress will be painful at the beginning, pero it will be worth it in the end. So, yun lang. If there are no more questions, I think we've covered everything that we've wanted to discuss. I hope na dun sa mga late dumating, watch na lang the replay later on when this is posted on YouTube. Ayan. Okay, last comment from Derek. Ito na yung last na mention natin. Pageants are only big in the South where most people are conservative. So obviously this decision is for the rest of the US that are more progressive and woke to appeal to that market as well. So that explains it. Kung bakit nga ganun ang ang stance nila. I am hoping na if that is the intent, then they will be able to capture the audiences. But I also hope na more than just pandering to a certain audience, mag-improve naman sila doon sa kanilang production and entertainment value. They really need, if they really want to to have people na how do you call this? They really want to have a wider audience watching their pageant, supporting their pageant. Siguro umpisahan nila with getting bigger names, getting A-list celebrities on the judging panel and on the performers dun sa stable nila ng mga magpe-perform sa finals, kasi yun yung area na tingin ko nakulangan sila. Before, we had Panic at the Disco, yung kasagsagan ng Miami Sound Machine. You had Gloria Estefan performing in the Miss Universe in Miami back then. You had, really big names like Ricky Martin during sa kasagsagan ng hype and height ng career niya, performing at Miss Universe. We were introduced with, the Bond na quartet in the early 2000s. And, sana yung maibalik nila yung mga stage na may patubig sa stage, may magandang choreography sa tawag nito sa stage nila, courtesy of Scott Grossman and Michael Schwan. Magkaroon sila ng opening dance like before, increase the entertainment value, and at the same time give more focus on the competitors. Kasi there was a study, I believe, that says na nowadays ang mga candidates, ang mga exposure nila mas maliit as compared to before. So I don't know if that is a true correct na assessment or correct na survey, but I hope that they really do something about it to appeal to a wider audience, because the first contact point ng mga non-pageant fans to the Miss Universe pageant is their finals night. Once that you catch them on your finals night, that becomes your funnel that you will later on need to progressively grow as you go towards the funnel. Kumbaga, the finals night is yung yung upside down na funnel na sasalain lahat ng mga makakapasok doon hanggat ma-narrow down to the more what do you call this? More open na market sa pageantry. Ayun. Okay. Clarinda Mi Cortez, pahabol ng mga comments was Dishona disagrees daw sa new role ng MUO. Derek says Lady Gaga also performed in Miss Universe when she was starting her career. Gino Kodiamat says hello, Momshi. Jason, Drake here. Hello, Gino. Hello, Drake. We're actually almost 2 hours na on our live. I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover and discuss with regards to this topic. Sa mga hindi nakapanood ng kabuuan ng live, please rewatch na lang the replay later on when this has been posted. Ayan. Good evening sa lahat. It's already 10 o'clock. We started promptly at around 8:01 or 8:02. So it's been, it's been 2 hours again na pa-live natin. I always go over time. I always think na kaya kong squeeze lang in 1 hour, but with all your comments, it really goes over time. So anyway, I hope na I'd catch you again in our next na pa-live dito sa YouTube, and please do like the live para later on kapag na-post na siya, mas marami pa ang makakita. Ayan. Everyone, good evening, and sa mga nasa ibang part ng mundo, good morning or good afternoon to wherever you are. I hope naging happy kayo dito sa pa-live session natin today. So ayan, that's it from me. Goodbye everyone. Have a nice day and have a nice night wherever you are in the world.